Today, we're going to be discussing the man behind the various franchises like Mario, Zelda, F-Zero, Pikmin, Star Fox, and a little something called Donkey Kong at Nintendo. And you probably know who I'm talking about because you clicked on the video unless you blindfolded yourself and randomly found your way onto my channel, and if that's the case, then welcome. You have some major talent, so you can stick around for a while. So Shigeru Miyamoto was born on November 16th, 1952 in Sonobe, and this was a small town north of Kyoto, and he was a very adventurous child as he loved exploring the rural areas around his home. Now, one in particular will be discussed in a future video, probably the next one, hint hint. These experiences would eventually translate into many of his games, but we're not there yet. We're going to talk about his early life some more. So, he graduated from the Kanazawa Municipal College of Industrial Arts. There was probably something pronounced wrong in that sentence. With an emphasis in industrial design, and Miyamoto had an awfully large love for manga, and he aspired to be an artist within that field. Now, the man can draw. Have you guys actually seen some of his stuff? It's fantastic, and my personal favorite is probably a piece that he did for the GameCube with Donkey Kong on it. He actually wanted to pursue a career in art, but he decided to go a different route due to one major influence, and that was the amazing arcade game that I personally have loved my entire life, Space Invaders. His father actually had a friend that knew Hiroshi Yamauchi, which in turn helped him land an interview with the former president of Nintendo. Now, Miyamoto was hired at a time where the main focus of Nintendo was still toys, and he was hired on the premise of being the company's first artist with fantastic toy ideas. Now, the first video game that he actually worked on was an arcade game called Sheriff. I personally don't know a whole lot about it. Then he proceeded to assist in the development of Radar Scope, which if you guys remember was the game that eventually turned into Donkey Kong. And if you want to know more about that, then go check out my episode on the history of Donkey Kong, and I further explain Miyamoto's influence there. But for now, just know that he created the concept of the game and it sold like hotcakes around the world. Now, his creation of Donkey Kong led to sequels in Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3, and after that, he started analyzing one of the characters that appeared in the first two games, and his name was Jumpman. Now, he reworked the character and gave him thicker Italian roots and a brother named Luigi. The character was then known as Mario! Oh my god, I know you're all shocked! Now, this work eventually led to the game known as Mario Brothers, and Miyamoto felt the setting should be in New York because they had an extensive subterranean labyrinth of pipes. Now, the original Mario Brothers arcade game was met with modest to pretty good reviews from critics at the time, but there was one problem that rose. It released during the video game crash in 1983, so this kind of posed the question if there should be a follow-up to it or not. Well, apparently Miyamoto thought it would be a good idea as the development of Super Mario Bros. Ensued as they began to focus on a game centered around the concept of exploring a larger type of environment. You see, most games didn't provide that kind of free-roaming exploration at that time, so Super Mario Bros. Became the Famicom's flagship title. It sold like crazy, as we all know, and here's something that I found to be really interesting. The concept of growing in size resulted from the developers designing the levels based around a smaller version of Mario, and then they would proceed to make him larger in the final version. Now, somewhere through the development life, though, they decided to incorporate the power-up mechanic and made Mario growing into Super Mario to be one of those. Now, I probably could make a sexual innuendo about Mario growing in size after eating a mushroom here, but I'm gonna let you guys do that instead. Now, they chose mushrooms to be the main power-up of the game based on folk tales about people who would wander in a forest and eat magical mushrooms, so that mystery is now ended. Now, Super Mario Bros. Went on to become one of the most influential games ever. It was the main title for the NES, and it's really what ushered in many new types of game players after the 1983 video game crash here in North America. It didn't exactly invent the 2D platformer, thank you Pac-Land, but it certainly established it and showed other developers that this is how you create a game with much polish and much love, and we all know the rest of the story. Mario has since then spawned many critically acclaimed sequels, and I'm more than certain I'm going to talk about those down the road. But until then, leave all your comments below and let me know what you thought of the video, guys. And like always, if you enjoyed what you saw here and you want to see something else I did, just wait a few seconds and you'll get a link to see some more. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.